welcome to Forging Resilience, exploring for a different perspective on strength and leadership. Join me as we discuss experiences and stories with guests to help gain fresh insights around challenge, success, and leadership.
So today I just thought I'd round up the season. The last 35 episodes have been an absolutely incredible experience for me. I've had some really interesting conversations with some really interesting people. And I always feel blessed that they're willing to give me their time, talk about both their personal stuff and their work. My intention with this podcast was just to have interesting conversations with interesting people, knowing that if I find it interesting and I can learn something, then maybe another human on this planet can as well. And I know that I've achieved that. I think I'm just going to cover some of the things that I have learned from stepping out of my comfort zone, both in terms of asking people would they appear on my podcast, interviewing them, getting really intimidated by some of them inside my own head, practicing B- work, but still managing to allow all that and go ahead and action what I wanted to do, which was exactly that, publish these conversations out to the world. And in the latter part of this season, run a couple of coaching calls, which for me felt impossible. And I still slightly cringe when I listen to those, but it's a work in progress. And I know at least a couple of people have reached out and had really interesting conversations off the back of those. I've been quite inspired to look at things that are going on for themselves and question them. So yeah, I'm not going to waffle too much, but I'll cover this. The 4 biggest things that I've learned from running this series, season 1, that we all have our stories and we all have our own struggles. My takeaway from that is that we all get to decide what we make them mean. And there's stories that have been interesting from moments or snapshots in people's lives to things that they've struggled with or carried with them for a long term, and learned to either deal, ignore, or change their relationship with over time. I think that's one of the beautiful things and the magic of being a human, the fact we all have our own stories, yet sometimes we get caught up in our own head. We'll start to compare our stories to other people's and get stuck. I think that's part of the human condition. And definitely for me, it was echoed there, regardless of some of the people I've had on, from the bigger guests to the average Joes. We've all got stuff that has happened to us, and we all get to decide what we make it mean. The second thing that I think I would highlight in terms of my lessons from these interviews as being that, for me, the people that I've related to the most are the most grounded, because they've got a very good understanding of themselves and that relationship. And it's something that they continue to explore. A lot of people realize that they're not broken and there's nothing there to actually fix. It's just about understanding who they are, what has shaped them to have a certain view of the world, and to gently just question and challenge that sometimes. And it all comes back to knowing ourselves. And for me, on a personal level, I'd go even further than that, and not just knowing, but learning to love and accept that. Because that for me is a place, a base that allows me to relate to my family, relates to my children. I can interact with them in a different way when I come from a place of love for myself, and I can hold that space for them. It also allows me in a professional sense to make mistakes, to ask for help, support, or make offers. And because there's that love, that foundation underneath, then regardless of the outcome or the rejection, it's, I'm still okay. I'm still here. It's okay. It's that reassurance for a young boy, the inner child that, in my case, sometimes needs to hear that. The third lesson, that perfect is a myth, perfectionism, something that I talked about in one of many episodes, but in depth in at least one, with Vix. This whole series for me has been an exercise in that. Record a conversation. At the first, I was spending quite a long time editing out the ums, the ahs, and any sort of stutters, which I've noticed I do a lot to try and buy myself some time. So that's something I'm going to be working on a technical aspect for next season. But the story that I tell myself about the way that I'm speaking, the way that I'm communicating, or that those words might be perceived is one thing, but the reality or the way that somebody else picks that up can be very, very different. So it's about having enough confidence in myself, self-confidence, to be 70, 80, sometimes less % okay. This is good enough. There's a message. There's a conversation. I'll put it out. It's up to the world what they make it mean. It's up to me what I make it mean. And I can get on to the next one. Or I can stay stuck trying to perfect that one episode and maybe still only be 2 or 3 in. So I'm almost delaying my own progress because I'm caught trying to live into some impossible imagined standard, which doesn't exist. And the fourth and final one is that there's no one size fits all. So to all of our journeys, our struggles and our stories, just because this person has found healing or progress or acceptance with that certain tool or technique or insight doesn't necessarily mean that's going to work for us. There's been such a wide variety of guests here, from professional sportsmen to military guys, quite a few, given that's my network, professional ballerina, dancer, actors, coaches, friends, boxers, and a bit in between as well, that they've all got their own way of seeing the world. So for us to try and take the blueprint for what has worked for them in their life and try and force it onto the top of ours is not necessarily going to work. I like to say, and I think it's something I'm going to make a note of now, Insight, is that I would love, and I will make more of a reference in this in the next season, is to listen to this through your own lens, to take away things that come up for you when these other people experience talking about their experiences, rather than this is the formula for that. We've all got our own way. We've all got our own needs. And to listen for our own insights and wisdom to come up is definitely, for me, the most powerful place to come from. So yeah, there you go. My 4 biggest lessons from running these episodes: that we all have our own stories and struggles. Number 2, that knowing ourselves and the relationship we have that with that is fundamental. That perfect is a myth. And the 4th one, there is no one size fits all in terms of blueprints for life. I would like to thank everybody and anybody that's taken the time to listen to this podcast, to get in touch and message. It's been greatly appreciated, that support. I have thoroughly enjoyed this, and I will be carrying on again after the summer, once things get back to normal after a fairly long Spanish summer, of which we're halfway through. And it's one of the things where lots of people are away, so now is the perfect time to take a break. I would ask you, if you've listened to this podcast, if you've got insights or inspirations or even suggestions on what I might be able to do to make it more interesting, to make it more interactive, then please reach out. I would love to hear from you so that I can help create something that is going to be valuable to you in your life. Guys, thanks very much. I'll look forward to seeing you in season 2.